Hey everyone, Marcus here, back with another video. In this video, I had the chance to speak with my colleague, Phil Hannon. He's also a technical media producer here at KNOE. And Phil has a very unique story. He spent time working in radio for a number of years. Now he's working here at KNOE, but he also has an interest in IT as well. So let's chat with Phil about his career so far.
So I'm Phil, and my position here at KNOE is technical media producer.
All right. Now, Phil, where are you from originally?
I am from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, and is there anything that makes Cleveland special or rock?
Well, I mean, you got the Rock Hall, right? So that makes it pretty special. And I think there's something to be said about Cleveland sports, especially sports fans. I think that they're some of the most loyal fans that you'll ever come by. Like, I've never seen sports fans like there are in Cleveland. So
Now, are you big into sports yourself?
I'm not huge into sports, but I do love my Cleveland Cavaliers. So
Okay, well, at the time of this video, it's kind of rough for the Cavs right
it
now.
is. It is. I'm hoping that we make a comeback against the Knicks here, but we'll see.
Okay, perfect. Now, what was it like for you specifically growing up in the Cleveland area?
Cleveland, beautiful town. It really is because it's right on the lake and good old Lake Erie. And you don't really see too many skylines like that in the country, where because of how it's set and being right on the water. So it is actually a very pretty town. And I think that there's a decent culture in Cleveland. Um, it's definitely a little bit different. I've heard that Cleveland is very different than the rest of the country. It's kind of set itself and sets its own, but I always loved it. I loved living there, and I really loved living on Lake Erie as a kid because in the summer, beautiful. You can just walk right down to the lake and jump in. So
Yeah, Cleveland definitely very pretty right up there on the lake, especially with the sunsets in the summertime. It's usually
yeah.
really pretty as well. But now you are here in Louisiana. So, is there anything that stands out to you being here in Louisiana, or things that you really enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the culture here it's been very interesting to learn because I feel like, especially in different parts of the state, I've noticed there's a little bit of different cultural shift from the northern half of the state to the southern half of the state. So that's been pretty interesting to learn about the cultural shift there. And I don't know, I just really like the weather here. I think the weather here is gorgeous because, most days are sunny and 70 degrees. So it's really the perfect weather, honestly. And that's one of the big reasons why I would say I probably want to stay here for a while.
Okay, so you're okay with the hot summers then?
I am, yeah. I mean, I can deal with the hot summers. I'd rather have that than the snow in the winter in Cleveland. So
Okay, perfect. Now, if you can describe to people what your job is here, what you actually do with your job here.
yeah, my job here. So I work in the control room. So it's all behind the scenes. And part of what we do in the control room is we make sure that the anchors and the talent look good on camera. And we make sure that all of the different elements for all of the newscasts here at KNOE are functioning, and graphics go on air correctly, and just everything it looks good and it sounds good on the air. That's our job, really.
Now, did you have a background in this industry already? For instance, where did you go to school? Where did you get your training?
Yeah, I went to school in Cleveland. I did go to school for media. It was a trade school that I went to, and I did that. And then I ended up working in radio for 15 years. And then I recently, about a year ago, made the transition over to TV.
And what has that transition been like? Has it been a smooth one? Has it been some adjustments to get used to? I've never worked in radio, so I don't know what it's like in that part. But maybe you can give a contrast between radio and TV.
A little bit, it is very different. I will say that radio is very different from television. Television, a lot more happening all the time because it's 24/7. TV never really stops. Radio doesn't really either, but I just feel like there's a lot more sense of urgency in TV. Like you got to be prompt, you got to get stuff done. Like timing is a huge deal. with television as opposed to radio. Radio kind of, especially for music stations, they just kind of go with the flow, you know?
Okay. And when you think about your career so far, obviously you spent more than a decade in radio. Now you're in TV. Do you have any future career aspirations or areas or things you would like to do in your career?
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm interested in more of the technical side of things. So, like what I'm doing here at the station right now is definitely an interest to me because I've always been interested in technology. But I would say that my eventual hope is to make a gradual shift into more of like an IT role and working with like networking and IT software, all of that kind of stuff that's like behind the scenes. And I know now with the way that things are in television with it's so much of it being computerized and automated and things like that, that there's going to be, more opportunities for stuff like that down the road. So I would say I would look forward to maybe doing something like that eventually.
Okay. And then I'm curious, do you have any advice for anyone who's interested in either pursuing work in television, radio, or even in IT?
Yeah, I would say, especially for radio and television, the best advice that I got from my mentors and what I always try to tell everybody if you're interested in this type of field is the biggest thing that you can do is networking. Try to meet as many people as you can. Meet people, greet them in the halls, shake their hands. Don't ever be afraid to say hello to somebody because you never know where that could lead you down a path somewhere else. Because in this business, the one thing that is constant I've learned is change, right? And people tend to move around a lot. So you don't know. Like somebody could end up going to another station and that station may have something and they could recommend you for it. So I would say networking is absolutely important, especially in this business.
And I think Phil's advice about networking is key for finding opportunities in media or with any job around the US, around the world. You really do have to network to meet people, to really figure out what steps you need to take to get in the door. All right, thanks again to Phil for allowing me to interview him. And thanks again for you all. Thanks again to you all for watching. Until the next video, have a great day.